What's up, gamers? Matt with That's Fair Podcasting, and in this video I'm going to talk about a possible Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake or remaster that has been rumored. For some time, and is it something that ultimately could help Ubisoft? I can't really speak for Assassin's Creed Shadow. Can I call it a success or a failure? I don't think I can really call it either one. I don't think that the sales, if they've even really given us an accurate number, have really given us any idea of what that game has sold, even though we've heard it's the second best-selling game this year. That doesn't really mean a lot, because I think at the end of the day, Ubisoft desperately needs a win, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remaster or Remake could be that win. What exactly could an Assassin's Creed Black Flag remaster or remake really mean for Ubisoft? Thank you again, guys, for joining me here. If you don't mind taking the time, maybe please subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting. It really helps us out. Like the video to throw us out into that algorithm. Either way, if you guys have joined me and you watch this video, that's really what means the most to me. So thank you very much for that. But this is one rumored remake that I'm actually looking forward to, and I hope it's true. The rumors actually began as far back as 2024. Ubisoft has neither confirmed nor have they denied this rumor of a remake. I sincerely hope it's true. There's an insider by the name of Tom Henderson who has said that this remake or remaster is actually pretty far in the making. It's even possibly able to be as released as sometime next year, given the state that Assassin's Creed Shadow ultimately was delayed, I believe Valentine's Day of 2025. So given that delay, I think it ultimately delayed this alleged remake or remaster of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, according to Tom Henderson, as again he states that it is pretty far in development. If you ask me, it's not my favorite of the Assassin's Creed series, but Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I have to think par to none is probably the most popular one of the series. Everyone that I've talked to that's a big fan of the series of Assassin's Creeds have ultimately all jumped on the Assassin's Creed Black Flag being the best of the series. Now, I have been a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, but I did not buy Mirage, and I sure as shit didn't buy Shadows. I didn't like the direction that Ubisoft seemingly went with it. Yes, you can call me a bigot, you can call me all that shit. I really don't care. It's not my brand. I want historical accuracy. If I want feudal Japan, which I think we've all wanted since the inception of Assassin's Creed in 2007, was it? Maybe? Or 8? I think it was 7. But we all wanted one feudal Japan. We wanted a Japanese shinobi male. Yeah. Call me sexist, call me a bigot, I don't really give a shit. The heart wants what it wants, and that's what I wanted. But let's be realistic. If Ubisoft does this remake or remaster, can they really balance it out? Can they stick to the tradition of what Assassin's Creed Black Flag brought us? Edward Kenway, the assassin turned pirate turned assassin. Can they stick with the tradition, yet also modernize it enough to bring on new gamers, but not so much modernize it to where it brings all that shit, that progressive DEI bullshit. Now, I absolutely loved the expansion. Well, I forgot what it was called, but you played as Adwale or whatever. I love that dude. That dude was a beast. That dude was a badass, and I love the hell out of that. I've only played it once. It was way back in the day, but I can't think of what it was called, but it was awesome. But can they give you the balance in this remake? Can they stick true to the original story, give you that nostalgic feel, however, bring in a new audience? I'm sure they want to usher in a new audience by modernizing it. And let's all be honest here. We know that it will be with Unreal Engine 5. It'll probably have a massive graphical upgrade, God willing, because it's the Caribbean, which in real life I partake in a Caribbean cruise every year. So I love the Caribbean. It's my favorite area in the entire world. So I remember playing the original Black Flag and climbing these cliff sides as Edward Kenway, and I'd always have to stop and take screenshots of the badass Caribbean Ocean behind me. And these are some graphics back then. I think it was 2013. Don't quote me on that date. For the Xbox, I think the 360 at the time, and then ultimately for the One, or maybe it was the Xbox One. Hard to tell. It's hard to keep up. There's been so damn many of them. But I really hope that they stay true to the tradition of Edward Kenway, the pirate. But again, bring in all the new modernization of it. I think they could do a wonderful job with that. To me, it was the first of the series to really introduce you to a vast open world. I mean, a vast open world. You had free roam in the likes of Italy when you were Ezio. You had, obviously, Connor. You had parts of America. And then I think it was Altair with Masyaf and all the other areas that he went to, Jerusalem or whatever. It was linear in the sense that you didn't have a complete open world where you can really go where you wanted to. And I think that Black Flag was the first game to bring the Assassin's Creed series to just a vast open world where you can pick where you wanted to go. And it was, it literally, I think that I speak for most Assassin's Creed fans when I say that it was par to none the one that really just blew us away. Again, to me, Ubisoft's apex was Black Flag, and from then it slowly, because Unity was badass, let's be honest. But what did make Assassin's Creed Black Flag so great? I think, again, let's be honest, you were an assassin turned pirate turned assassin, or you could say you were a pirate turned assassin turned pirate, whatever you wanted to say. Even though I think he was a privateer for a while, Edward Kenway. You had the Caribbean, you had the whole pirate swashbuckling feel. You got the naval warfare that really Assassin's Creed 3 introduces to, but Black Flag really revolutionized the shit out of it. You were able to control your own fleet as Edward Kenway. Getting the I don't know how many man of war ships I ultimately got. Those were my number one go-tos because those kicked everything's ass. But I just remember ultimately just loving the fleet battles as Edward Kenway. That was a blast. Again, you had the colorful Caribbean. I mean, you had the various islands that literally opened up the tropical area of the Caribbean and captured it really well. The deep blue sea, like it just the green of the island, the foliage that you were in these tropical islands to the like little howler monkeys, and obviously you upgraded Edward Kenway as you went with your guns, your belts, all of the above. But honestly, it was the goddamn shanties. Let's start with the shanties that, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. I mean, tell me you didn't constantly pick specific shanties that you wanted to hear over them. You keep skipping to the certain ones, and, you'd find ways to catch the other shanties and add them to the crew. And I really enjoyed the shanties. That is definitely one of my favorites, just listening to it, just floating out to sea and listening to them sing. Like I said, you had so many Caribbean islands, from Antigua to Jamaica. Even though I don't think it was called Jamaica back then, it had a weird name. But you had so many that literally just all these different islands that brought the wildlife to life. You could hear the monkeys in the trees and whatnot. A couple of concerns to me are, hopefully, if they do go through with this, and I don't know if Virtuos will be working on this one or not. Virtuos is the master of remakes, obviously Elder Scrolls Oblivion. But I hope that it's not the same diverse group of people. I don't mind diversity, but I don't like the diversity, equity, and inclusion of these games that they're forcing on here. I pray to God that they leave Edward Kenway's story alone. I think as Assassin's Creed fans, we absolutely just really fell in love with the Edward Kenway story. Starts off using people, ends up really understanding what it meant to be an assassin, to be part of that sacred order. He had to learn. I think he was the biggest learning curve of all of them. At least that's what I saw. I really truly hope that they don't turn the progressive slop that they've been making lately. And by progressive slop, I mean Shadows, Ubisoft, the shit that they're shitting out. I hope it doesn't reach its way into this, because they could make or break with this one. They really need to be careful. There's a real fine line they need to walk if they're going to remake Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And another concern is, let's stay away from your skull and bones approach of your quadruple A title, because that game is just a total piece of shit. There's really no way around it. They may put more and more work into it, but I think at the end of the day, it's almost like BioWare's Anthem. You almost, there's no going back. I don't think. I don't see that quadruple A title is worth the shit. I think that they were trying to do what they could to gain that fame and gain that success that they got from Black Flag, and Skull and Bones unfortunately wasn't it. To close out this video, there's a few things I would hope to see, in my opinion, that I hope to see in this remake. Obviously, you have the beautiful upgraded graphics. Obviously, we've already mentioned that. Don't need to keep going over that. It's the Caribbean and the green foliage and all that. Let's be honest. I'd like to see a quality of life upgrade. A big one where, all your facial animations are really upgraded. Well, they should be with Unreal Engine 5, but, I want to see Edward Kenway. I mean, it didn't age well when you're trying to play that game, even though you play that game for nostalgia. The nostalgia aged well, but graphically, it's so hard to go back when you keep getting upgrades in graphical video games that, I don't know about you. Thank God for Oblivion's remaster, because it's hard to go back to the 2006 version. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. I'd like to see an upgrade on the warfare of your melee, your ranged combat, your melee combat, and your ship warfare. I'd like to see an upgrade from what we got. Now, I'm not complaining about the original Assassin's Creed Black Flag combat system at all. I loved how he worked the cutlasses. Just clean it up, There's no complaint. I have zero complaints about Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the OG. But I'd like to see an upgrade in that. I'd like to see an upgrade in, like I said, the mechanics of the ship naval warfare. I think that would be badass. I think a lot of us would like that. And I'd like to see all the DLC and expansions added into this remake. I don't want to see them kind of jumping back into loot boxes by any means this is a huge success. Here you got all this pirate armor for sale, and this, basically what Valhalla did, what Odyssey did, I'm sure what Shadows is doing. I don't know. I don't play the pile of shit. I guarantee they're doing the same thing. I hope everything that we got from the original is thrown in, and then some. It's a remake and remaster. You're not giving us a new game. So don't try to, bend us over in that beautiful Ubisoft way. And then lastly, unpopular opinion to most of you, I'll be honest. I would like to see it. I would like to see them maybe kind of bring a format of the RPG element that Odyssey and Valhalla and I guess Shadows does. Even though Shadows is supposed to be Ubisoft's last Assassin's Creed at the RPG element, I would actually love to be able to choose what Edward Kenway says and forge his path. I'm sure that's a big ask, especially for a remaster, but maybe for a remake it isn't. I would really love that RPG mechanic for one of my favorite assassins in the entire series. I would love to see some additional missions added on. I really would. I would love to see Edward get some additional new missions that weren't maybe in there, didn't make the original game. I don't know if there are some that they made that didn't make the original, but I would love to see additional missions, a larger one. But in closing, guys, I just want to say that if Ubisoft is working with, and I don't know again if it's Virtuos or not, if Ubisoft is indeed working on an actual remake or remaster of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, like this Tom Henderson insider says, then I really hope that they stay true to what they gave us in 2013 when that game came out, because Ubisoft could really make or break themselves in a lot of ways. They need a win in my book. I don't think that they've even sold quite 3 million copies of Shadows, and if they have, they haven't given us any indication of what they've actually sold. If you guys have an exact number, please leave it in the comments section, because I'd love to know. But I don't think they're selling their Assassin's Creed number that they're used to selling. But anyway, guys, that's all I have. I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope that they do make this remake. I just hope they do justice to it, unlike Ubisoft and what they're doing now to some of their titles now, which I am not impressed with. But that's just a gamer's opinion. But guys, again, thank you so much. If you've stayed with me this long, it really means the world to me that you watched this video. please subscribe to That's Fair Podcast and help us grow. I really appreciate those who have subscribed and jumped on lately. It sincerely does mean a lot to me as well. Please like the video, give us more clicks, feed us, man, if you don't mind. I mean, and again, if you just watched the video and didn't do any of those, that's totally fine. You watched the video and that's what matters to me the most. But gamers, to you, all you gamers out there, all love to you guys, and I am outro.